Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings. Hello friends, this is Paul, and of course this is the Nature Wanderer podcast. Welcome. And today I'm at the Erie County Forestry in Sardinia, but I'm coming in a different way than I usually do. I'm not at the main entrance. I'm at one of the, back entrances, I guess you could say, off of Middle Road. And it's a nice, quiet area that I like to go. Not much parking. You can usually have to park along the edge of the road. There's only room for like 2 cars, but that's kind of what makes it nice, because then you get very few people back here. As a matter of fact, there's only one other car parked here today besides my own. And so I'm in the woods today, hiking up the trail here, and I am doing something a little bit different. I've talked about it in the past, and I know I usually like to tell you a little bit about nature each episode. Sometimes I pick a different topic and I'll talk about, well, like last week I was talking about spittle-bugs, the frog hoppers, and other times I just like to talk about how nature heals. And don't forget to take my quiz, not a quiz, more of a survey online, because I want to hear what you want me to talk more about. But today I decided I wanted to do something I really enjoy, and that's get people out there exploring nature. Now, I know I don't need an excuse to get out in nature, and I know a lot of people I know don't need an excuse to get out in nature, but every once in a while we're like, I want to take the kids, I want to take the family out, and the kids really aren't into it. They would rather just stay home. They would rather just play soccer in the backyard. It's like you need something to entice others to come out and explore nature. And sometimes I get in that mood where it's like, it's been a long week. I just want to get out in the woods and just relax in the woods and not really go out and do a long hike, but I know I should. So this is something that's kind of an adventure for me, and I'm hoping to encourage you doing it too. What I'm talking about is orienteering. Now, orienteering actually started over in Sweden back in, I believe it was 1918, so quite a while ago. And it was just a way for people to start orienting themselves. The word orienteering, orient yourself as to where you are in your surroundings. And after a while, it made its way to Europe, to England. It made its way to Canada in the 1960s. And then finally, orienteering as a sport, a hobby, made its way to the U.S. in the 1970s. So it's worked its way around the world. And what is orienteering? Well, it's basically orienting yourself to your surroundings using map skills. It's turned into a sport where you go out in the woods, and a lot of times it's a race where you go out and you try to get as many markers that are hidden in the woods. I shouldn't actually say hidden, but they're placed in the woods. You try to find these markers as quickly as you can. And if you are the fastest, you'll win the race. Now, there's different types of races. I've seen the orienteering races where you go by points. So the harder the marker is to get to, the more points it's worth. So you're doing time and you're doing points. So you're doing a little bit of each. Other orienteering is just speed. It's like get every single marker as fast as you can, get back to the start-finish line. So that's another way of doing it. I've seen it done by hiking. I've seen it done running. I've seen it done in the snow on snowshoes, on cross-country skis. They've got it on bikes. So there's all different types of this race. I've done the orienteering races before. I prefer what I'm doing now. That's what we call a map hike. Now, there's orienteering groups all over the country. In Western New York here, we have the Rochester Orienteering Club, and we also have the Buffalo Orienteering Club. So in Western Central New York, those are the two big clubs, and they hold meets, you know, the races, but they also have map hikes out. Both also have set courses. So at a couple of state parks in New York, there's courses that are set up that are just like, there goes a toad across the trail. There's courses that are set up year-round, and they're permanent. So you can go there anytime. They don't change them. They don't move the markers. So once you do it, you're pretty much done with it. The map hikes that the Buffalo Orienteering Club has out, and they have them at, I think there's probably like 8 different parks that they set them up at. The map hike is each year. So they put it up in the early spring. Usually, I believe they put it up in May, set it up in May, and they print the maps up and they put it out for you. And then they close the map hike, they close it in March. So it's most of the year, but they give themselves 2 months to go out, move the markers to new places, get it on the map, print up new maps for everybody, and yeah, so they, you know, do take it down for a couple of months during the year. And it's just a challenge to get out and get as many of the markers that you can find. So how do you find these markers? Well, essentially you have to use your orienting skills. That's what orienteering is all about. How to read a map. Now, if you can't read a map, you're going to have troubles. I have done this with people who have trouble reading maps, and I have worked with them to teach them how. After a while, you can figure it out. There's different ways. The easiest way is to keep track of where you are on the map, so you don't have to keep trying to figure out, it's like, where was I? How am I getting to here? What am I doing here? Now, the maps are not like a road map like you see on when you're going on a trip. I know we don't have those anymore. It's all on your phones now. But if you remember the old paper maps, there used to be where you would have roads marked with different colors, different thicknesses, depending on the type of road it was. And all of that was to get you from point A to point B. Well, an orienteering map is showing you more than just roads. I mean, remember, you're in the middle of the woods. So it's showing you the trails. There's going to be different markers on the orienteering map. It's going to show you like where a cabin is. I just walked past a cabin in the woods here. That's on my orienteering map. It's a little black square on the map. It's going to show you the vegetation. So it has different colors, different markings on the map for the different types of vegetation. Like right now, I'm going off the trail. I should look at my map pretty soon. I've just been kind of walking, but I'm going to look at the map in a second here. Make sure I'm in the right place, but I'm off the trail. The grass is higher. There's no real trail here. I'm going along a stream, so I'm going to find the stream on the map because I know the stream is on the map. There's a hill on the side. That'll be on the map too, because they also have terrain lines. In other words, the altitude changes. They will show you a line where the altitude changes by so many feet. So all of this is on the map. Now I'm coming up to an area. I've got heavy woods on my left. I've got open sunny spot right in front of me. I got a stream next to me. So all I have to do is look at the map, and by the colors, by the lines for the stream, the blue line for the stream, by the terrain lines showing the hill next to me, I can figure out exactly where I am on the map. And then I'm looking for the little mark on the map, which is a little circle with a number next to it. That's where the marker is going to be. Okay, so what am I looking for? What are these markers when I'm orienteering? Well, these markers, gotta get past this terrain section. I can see the path is a little beaten down here, and this is not a usual path that people go on. So there's been other orienteers out here. Most people who are just out for a hike, they're not going through this tallish grass here. We're going to be talking next week about protecting yourself against ticks, so please listen to that episode. But I have all my tick protection with me today and taking all the precautions because I knew I would be walking through tall grass. I usually am when I'm orienteering. A lot of orienteering is off trail, so if that worries you, practice first. Get to know how to read these maps. Go with someone who's experienced. Don't just go willy-nilly off into the wilderness. Always mark your way, mark where your car is. I actually have my Avenza map going on my phone right now. I'm going to go to that right now and look. Yeah, it tells me exactly where I am on the map. So that way I can always find my way back. But part of orienteering is also knowing your surroundings, looking around and knowing where you are, knowing, landmarks. It's like I'm passing over a culvert right now, which apparently gets a lot of rainfall because the actual culvert that they sunk across this old logging road is totally exposed. So yeah, it didn't hold up to that water enough to really rush through here. Yeah, so what I'm looking for. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Got a swampy area here I have to go through. And whenever I go through swampy areas, I'm always careful, not just because I don't want to fall or trip, but I also want to step on any sensitive areas, which is one of the things, about the only thing I don't like about orienteering is you are off trail. You do go through sensitive areas. I am going to stop for a second here and look at the map, but while I'm looking at the map, I want to tell you what I'm looking for. So on the trees, and it may be different in your area, but this is kind of a standard. On the trees in the circled area on the map, there is going to be a square sign. It's going to be triangled off, in other words, corner to corner on this tiny little sign. It's probably about 6 inches by 6 inches. It's red on one triangle and white on the other side. Okay, so that's what the main sign looks like. And that's going to have a number in one corner. And on the other corner, opposite of the number, they're going to have some sort of code. Usually with the Buffalo Orienteering Club, they go with 2 letters. And those letters are what you need to write down. You need to keep track of. Okay, so I have my map out. For the first time, I've been hiking like half a mile here. But I know the area. I've been back here before. Okay, so I walked down, and it was on Middle Road is where I parked. I know exactly where I was parked. I walked out here. I already passed number 16. I'll catch that on the way back. I went up over here. There's where it crosses. I went straight. Okay, so I am headed up the hill now. And I can see my terrain lines getting closer together, which means that, yes, I will be going up a hill. There should be a trail going off to my right, which, yes, there is a trail that went off to the right there. And this is an old logging trail that I'm on. Beautiful woods today. Absolutely beautiful weather. It's in the 80s. Swamp area off to my right. But it's in the 80s here. A little bit warm. But I'm in the woods, so it's nice and cool. I can hear the birds talking to me now and then. A little later in the day, so they're kind of bunkered down for the day. But it's not a well-groomed trail, but it's, like I said, an old logging trail in the woods, so every once in a while I can already see there's a couple of logs crossing the woods up here, or the trail up here. So I'm keeping the stream to my right, and this is where I follow the trail closely, or follow the map closely. Because if I go, just keep wandering and then look at the map, I could pass where I'm supposed to go up, because I can see on the map number 21 is up the hill a little ways, and the clue for 21 is re-entrant. So re-entrant, in other words, it's where a stream starts. So I'm going to be looking for where a stream is going to cross this trail. When I get to that spot, that's when I am going to head up into the woods. And this time of year, it's a little bit dry. So I got to keep an eye out, because I just passed a stream. But it's a dry stream. I can tell it was a stream because it was kind of dried out. And I'm thinking I've got swamp off to my right. I'm not sure if that's the right stream, though, because the swamp just starts here. I can see on the map. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go a little bit further. On the map, there's like heavy stripes and some green and yellow. That's basically, it's a very open area, non-wooded and swampy. And I can see on the right where there's this wide area, and it's all swampy down there. I know because I've been down there before. And so I have to go up here a little bit further. I'm watching the trail. Yes, it does curve to the right a little bit, and right at that point, there should be a stream crossing there. Where that stream is crossing, apologize if it's a little loud here. It's, like I said, old logging trail. We're getting into an open area, so it's a little bit wet. Really tall grasses. Some of the ostrich fern is almost as tall as me. Gotta work my way through here. All right, a little bit better in this area. So now I'm looking for that stream coming down, and I think I see where it's going to be coming down, because it gets a little bit, I'm looking up into the woods and I can see where, looks like there's an indentation where the stream would be coming down. And I'm looking for a re-entrant. So let's go up the hill a little bit further. I don't think I'm in the right spot. So there is one other aspect of orienteering that I want to talk about, and that's compass use. And don't turn that podcast off. Don't walk away. I know a lot of people panic when they hear that word, compass. Oh no, I don't know how to use a compass. Compasses scare me. Okay, I'm at the stream. Gonna check my map again. Okay, so there's a re-entrant coming in from the side. Actually, the side I am on here. See if I can spot any re-entrants. Every once in a while, what I like to do is I like to just stop and do a 360. I stand here and I just turn around looking for that marker on the tree. I'm actually going to go down to the stream right now. Oh, see, now down at this level I can actually see a re-entrant here. So another part of orienteering is compass use. Now, I don't use a compass a lot when I'm orienteering. And I say a lot because, yes, I do every once in a while use a compass. Especially if I'm in an area where I am going to be way off trail. And the reason is because if you're way off trail, it's actually a little bit difficult to find your visual cues. So sometimes it's best to have an orienteering compass with you to kind of look around and use that compass to get from point A to point B. Okay, so here's another stream. Let's go up here just a hair. There it is. Okay, so headed out a bunch because I couldn't find the damn thing. Now I really studied the map and I realized I was at the wrong stream. So I'm at the right stream now. And I came up and I saw a re-entrance, a second entrance coming into the stream, and guess what? There it is. Now, I used to carry with me my recording sheet. So there's a little sheet that tells you, okay, for number 21, what's the numbers you found? And you mail that in. Well, I started just taking pictures of the tags. And then when I get home, I'll record it from the picture onto my recording sheet. So the upper left corner is white, the lower right corner is red. The number on the upper left corner is 21. Down in the lower right are 2 letters. And for anyone who is doing the Buffalo Orienteering course, Erie County Forestry, I'm not going to say those letters because you got to find it yourself. So that's essentially what orienteering is all about. Now I'm going to start heading back because I have to head back to another trail to go up to. I mean, I could go straight to it from here, but it's pretty rough terrain to go in a straight line. But that's where your compass skills come in handy if you do want to do that, if the terrain is not so bad. So if I want to go straight from this marker to the next one, I would just take a bearing, and it's not just on any compass. I actually have what's called an orienteering compass. They were invented during the World War II era, and it's got a rectangular base to it, and then the compass sits on top of that rectangular plastic base, and the base has an arrow, which is your directional arrow. It's like, this is the direction I want to travel in. And you basically point it on, you use it on your map, and you point it from where you're standing towards the point you want to go to. Okay, so that is your route line. And then you turn your compass head on this base. You leave the base pointed where it is on the map, and you turn the whole map until the arrow pointing to magnetic north lines up with the N on the compass. So I'm going to put together a video at some point when I have a little extra time showing you how to use a compass and how to use an orienteering compass. So it's really hard to explain without actually having the compass in front of you and seeing it. What you're doing is you're basically setting up your bearing. And it's like, okay, I need to head in this direction. I'm going to go, so many yards, and hopefully you have your pace measured out. That should have been done ahead of time, so that when you walk, 10 paces, you've gone 10 yards. That's just an example. Everyone's pace is going to be different. But you do a lot of this measuring out where you pace it and you take the average, and that way it'll get you closer. And hopefully once you get close to that next marker, you're going to start to see different landmarks on your map that match up with the landmarks around you. Like I said, maybe you've got some rootstocks, you've got a cairn. A cairn is basically a pile of rocks. Those are usually shown on these maps. Sometimes they'll have a distinctive tree. Other times they'll have the trails. They'll have all different things are on the maps to help you to guide your way through the woods. But the compass, like I said, it's quite a skill. You really need to know how to use the compass or it's just not going to work for you. Some people just cannot get compasses. I do pretty good with it. But it took me a while to learn the skill of reading a compass. So that's how you can find, if you're at a certain point on the map, you have to go off trail, and it's like, okay, it's somewhere over there. You could be spending an hour wandering through the woods. I just wasted probably 15 minutes. And it wasn't wasted. I was in the woods enjoying myself. But, I spent 15 minutes wandering around an area where, hey, I was in the wrong spot. But if I'd used a compass and I had paced it off, and I probably would have found the right stream to go to. So we are following the map, headed back to the next one. I don't do them in order, I just do them in the area. They're usually in order by number in an area, but I kind of jump around. I usually have it planned out. Sometimes I change it, like today. I don't have as much time as I'd like. I'd hoped to get 3 or 4 of them today, but because it took me too long to find the first one, I am going to probably only get 2, maybe 3 on the way out of the woods here. Okay, so this one is on a spur, and I'm in some pretty heavy grasses here. I got a creek right here, and I'm looking for a spur. So basically there's going to be a out-jutting of land coming out into the creek. And, okay, there's a spur right up here. Let's see if I can get over to that. Okay, and I do my 360, and there it is. Okay, nice. Number 2. So we're going to head back up, and once again, because I kept my bearings, I'll get a picture of this first. Okay, now I'm going to head back out and once again orienting myself. I know what direction I came in, so I know what direction I have to go out to get to the main trail again. So I'm going to head to the trail. I know it's over, and watch the sun too. I know which direction the sun is in. I have gotten turned around in the woods before. So always try to, get your bearings. If you have a compass, it really does help. Even if you don't know how to use it, at least it tells you which way is north, south, east, and west. So I'm going to take a short pause here, and I'm going to find the trail, and I'm going to head on out to my last one. Okay, so I'm almost back to my vehicle, back to my car. This one was close to the road, which is why I kind of saved it for last. I know I could grab it on the way out if I had time, and if not, it would be a quick grab on another day. So I have to go up a little bit further here and then head into the woods. It's looking at the map and looking at the, looks like it's about maybe about 75 meters from the trail here, and there should be a clearing. I can actually see the clearing from where I am. I'm going to cut across. Once again, I'm going off trail here, so I'm being real careful, especially because the grasses are really tall here. Once again, make sure you are watching and checking for ticks. Let me get back. Okay, I'm into the wooded area, so the grass is not as bad. Big ferny area here though, so I want to be careful. I don't want to step on any of the ferns. Yeah, you can hear how close I am to the road here. Not a very busy road, middle road, but okay, so I'm at the clearing, and the clue is for number 15, clearing, north edge. Now, once again, if you don't have a compass, then you're probably wondering, what's the north edge? So, if you didn't bring your compass, what you do is I know it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the sun should be towards the west a little bit. So I am actually walking towards the west. There's the clearing. I'm actually standing in the middle of the clearing. So if I'm headed west, I need to turn to the right. So the area basically opposite from the road. And now I am back in the woods, and yes, I see it on the tree. It's usually on small trees because they put wire around the tree to put the marker on. And the marker has a 15 in the upper left corner and 2 letters in the lower right corner. So there we go. 3 markers. That's pretty good for a day when I only have about an hour, hour and a half in the woods here. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'd like to thank you for joining me. I'm going to head back out and head to my car. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed learning about orienteering, and I hope you get out and you start orienteering. Go to Google and do a search for orienteering clubs near me if you don't live in the Buffalo area, Western New York. If you live in Western New York, look up the Buffalo Orienteering Club, and you can get membership, which gets you discounts on maps, and it gets you discounts on any of the meets that they have if you want to do some meets, challenges. But this, I enjoy the map hikes because it's just kind of at your own pace. You can do it when you want to. You can take your time. It just gets you out in the woods to relax and enjoy. So I am encouraging you, check it out. Buffalo Orienteering Club. You can get the maps online. You can order them online. I usually go to some of the outlets where they sell them. There's a couple stores where they sell them in Western New York, and I pick up one of the map hike maps and then go out orienteering. Like I said, there's several map hikes in Western New York for you if this is your thing, but it's great fun for the family. It's like a treasure hunt. with the treasure being a little tag on a tree. But it's kind of fun for the kids. It's kind of fun for the whole family. I enjoy doing it by myself. I enjoy doing it with my wife. I enjoy taking the grandkids and my kids along. But it is a lot of fun. I'm usually the map reader, but I also have taught my wife how to read the map. And I like when I have someone new with me and I can teach them how to read the map and, how to find the different orienteering markers. If you enjoyed listening to the episode today, please rate and review, and don't forget to share with friends, share with others, get them listening to the podcast and learning about nature. And you can find all the links to merchandise, Nature Wanderer merchandise. You can support the podcast. I've been looking at some new microphones for out in the field, not in the studio, but out in the field for better sound quality. And they're a little more expensive than I really had hoped. So if you could make a donation, it would be gratefully appreciated. Go to my Ko-Fi page. Once again, the links are in the show notes. And don't forget to take the survey. There's a survey on my Ko-Fi page for what you want to hear about. I mean, do you want to hear more about just general hikes out in nature, more about how to have fun in nature, more about nature and its healing ways? Maybe you want to hear more about specific topics like the spittlebug episode. Maybe you want me to start doing more interviews. I haven't done any interviews with anyone. Really not my thing, but if that's what you want, I can bring in some experts on different topics and we can do some interviews, maybe in the winter time when I am not spending as much time outside. So let me know what you want to hear. And if you ever want to join me on one of my hikes, I always love the company. Thanks, and have a great day, and keep exploring the nature around you.
Did you know that plastic is made with oil, a fossil fuel that pollutes the environment? And did you know that only about 15% of all plastic is recycled into new products? Wouldn't it be awesome if we could live our lives without plastic so that we could stop harming the planet? Well, there's a company that wants to help you do just that. Life Without Plastic sells products that will reduce or eliminate your dependence on plastic. They have a large selection from toothbrushes to food storage containers to drinking straws, all plastic free. And it's reasonably priced. So what are you waiting for? Check out all these great plastic-free products and help save the planet. Just click on the link in the show notes to find out more and to start your journey to being plastic-free.